Hello dear students, welcome back to my YouTube channel Physiology Learning. In today's discussion, we are going to discuss one of the newer topic, I would say, that is brain-gut axis. This topic is in trend especially for the postgraduates in physiology, but for the undergraduates, you can just have a quick revision of what is this brain-gut axis. Most likely it might not be asked in your exams also. But it is an interesting topic as such because there is a strong relationship between the GIT and the brain, and this has been studied in a lot of disease in the recent days. So let's see what is this brain-gut axis. So it is called as gut-brain axis or brain-gut axis. So there is a strong bilateral communication between the central nervous system and the nervous system of the GIT we have seen in the starting itself, that is the enteric nervous system. The enteric nervous system is nothing but the myenteric plexus, which is causing the muscular contraction, and Meissner's plexus, which is causing the secretions of the GIT. So these two systems are connected with each other. So this microbiota brain axis, now what they have seen that there is a gut microbe, and if you compare our human cell number with the cell number, that is number of bacteria that is living inside the gut, the bacterial number is more. Sometimes some people write it as we just don't know who is the host and who is the parasite, because their number is more inside us than the human cell number itself. So that's the beauty about gut bacteria. So they are helpful. They are constantly helping us also for a lot of factors. So they will form metabolites, neurotransmitters and hormones, and all this information will go to the brain. All this information can go to the brain. In a similar manner, the metabolites, neurotransmitters and hormones formed in the brain, they can come and influence the GIT. That's why whenever you are stressed or you are having some anxiety, it is primarily a central nervous system. But at the same time, you will have diarrhea, you will have some kind of stomach irritation or gastritis, which is strongly related with exam stress also. So there itself you can understand they are both closely related to each other. So what are the systems commonly shared between them? The immune system, the vagus nerve, the enteric nervous system under the control, the neuroendocrine system and the circulatory system. All of them are strongly interrelated. Now they have studied this gut-brain axis in lots of diseases like autism, anxiety, depression, and they have also seen in physical performance and motivation improvises in a person who is having a good gut health. And they have also studied in neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's. So this system influences the neuro, immuno and endocrine functions. That's why this is called as neuroimmunoendocrine system. Here, what are the components which are involved? The neural components are involved, the endocrine components are involved, the immune and the microbial by producing certain substances. So there is a strong interplay between all of them. And the enteric nervous system, we saw that it can act independently. So all the movement and hormone production, it can do independently. But at the same time, they are influenced by, their enteric nervous system is being influenced by the autonomic nervous system. Especially the vagus plays a very strong role between the connection between the GIT and the central nervous system. So the gut-brain axis, how they came to the analysis is, they created some animals without any gut bacteria. They are called as germ-free animals. So in those animals, they saw that there is a decreased expression of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF. This is one of the important factor for the functionality of the brain. And in these animals, they saw that the expression of this factor has gone down to the very low levels. Then they came to an understanding that the gut bacteria is very, very essential for this production. And here also the communication is happening via vagus. The communication happens via vagus between the gut and the central nervous system. Then brain to gut. At the same time, the brain is also influencing the gut in various manners. There is an alteration in the mucus production and the biofilm that is formed in the GIT. Whenever there is some problem, there is an alteration in motility and the intestinal permeability and the immune functions. And not only that, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which is one of the important axes in stress management, that has a strong relationship with the gut also. That's why people who are stressed, they have sometimes diarrhea also, because of this axis is getting deranged in them. So the neural component, just now we saw, it happens via the help of vagus. And the endocrine component, there are multiple hormones produced in the GAT which can influence the central nervous system. For example, ghrelin will help to increase the appetite, and the strong signaling goes to the hypothalamus in the brain. And in the same way, the cholecystokinin will cause satiety, because cholecystokinin is a GA hormone, but it can go and act on the brain and tell the brain that this person has consumed food, and it causes satiety. And other hormones like GLP-1 and P-peptide YY, they are also involved. And coming to the immune system, immune functions, the cytokines and inflammatory mediators, they are strongly regulated by this brain-gut axis. And this microbia has one important role. In the dietary fibers itself, we saw that they convert or ferment the substances. And after fermentation, they will form short-chain fatty acids. Among the short-chain fatty acids, the important ones to be noted are butyrate, propionate, and acetate. Out of this, all three, this butyrate, they have seen that it has neuroprotective function. So a person with good amount of gut bacteria, wherein the butyrate production is good, their brain is being prevented from long-term diseases. So that is a neuroprotective effect. Whereas the propionate and acetate also has some modulatory effect on the central nervous system, but predominantly the neuroprotective effect is done by butyrate. So this is how the brain and the gut are being connected. Now what they have seen is, they wanted to understand this on various diseases. And after studying multiple diseases, they came to so many conclusions, which we'll discuss here. So there is a strong link between the emotional cognitive centers of the brain with the intestinal functions. They have seen that this gut-brain axis is also involved in the limbic system. We have discussed in detail in the central nervous system playlist. You can go and watch that. What is the function of this limbic system? It controls the emotional aspects of the person. So that's why when you have some kind of stomach upset, or for example gastritis also, your mental mood and emotional behavior also changes. So the limbic system is strongly associated with it. And there is a strong relationship between the irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease patient, and many of them have developed autism also. So they have seen strong relationship between this GI disorders and the central nervous system disorder. And they have tried in treatment also. They have given prebiotics and fecal microbial transfer, wherein a patient who is having a good bacterial microbiome, they will take their fecal matter and convert it into a capsule and give it to a person who is not having a good microbial gut. Later on, they saw that there is a decrease in the progression of the disease that is very, very common, Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease, dementia is so devastating, but they have seen that after the prebiotic treatment, this progression of their dementia, that is the forgetfulness of those particular patients, is not progressing very rapidly. For example, if the patient loses most of its cognitive function in 3 years, after this treatment, they are able to survive for a much longer period, like 5 years, 7 years down the line. And these dietary fibers, which are producing the short chain fatty acids, they have also seen to decrease the inflammation, decrease the overall inflammatory mediators in the body, which is again helpful to the person. So there is a strong relationship between the gut microbacteria and the central nervous system. And whenever this gut microbiome gets altered or impaired, it is called dysbiosis. And this dysbiosis can lead on to the various central nervous disorders, just now whatever I have quoted above. So that's how keeping your gut healthy will help to improvise your mental makeup and other CNS functions also. So I hope it's clear. Thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned for more such videos. Thank you so much.